working on helping local people to find out about the council's development plans for what's called the Blackpool Road development site. And it is in the New Southwark Plan, which will be going to a public hearing next year. On the site is a very old industrial building, which we believe was built in the 19th century. We are a citizens' action group in Peckham Vision, which started over 10 years ago to try to get information out to local people who needed to know what was being planned for their neighbourhood. And we've had many campaigns now, and we know that there are some important aspects of this particular development in the Blackpool Road site which people really need to know about. And there's very little time left now to help people to form an opinion about this and what they would like to say about it. One of the aspects on the site is that there's this Victorian industrial building, which is a really, we think, an important part of Peckham's industrial heritage. And it's definitely worth considering preserving. And as far as we know, the council seem to have taken no account of it at all. And so we are now working with the organisation that has a lease, a 10-year lease on the building, only about 2 to 3 years left of the lease to go, which happens to be a church. And they've made very good use of this building over the last 8 years that they've been in operation. Obviously they use it for their church purposes, but they call themselves a community outreach ministry, and their Christian ministry is very much about the community and the local community, and we're very interested in working with them to help them to make that happen. They've spent a lot of time restoring the building inside to make it usable, because it was in quite a derelict state when they took on the lease, and they've made a very good job of that. And it shows what a wonderful community space is in the building. It's enormous inside, which is always what happens with industrial buildings from that. In fact, all buildings from the Victorian era have very big spaces, and they're not replicated today in modern architecture. So it's one of the things we really feel ought to be preserved. This building is a fantastic community asset, and the church, the way the church uses it, is a good example of it. And they hold events where children can play, they have youth groups, and they have places where you can have a local community market for people recycling clothes and other things. And we're very keen to work with them to help them to develop this program seriously, to be a local outreach for and facility for the local community, working with the church and working with us in terms of the planning system and ensuring that the building is preserved for the future.